welcome. This is Financial Literacy with TC. I am your host, TC. I want to wish you guys a happy Valentine's Day. We are here at Nobleman Cigar Lounge, our new location. We will be shooting Financial Literacy with TC. And as you can see, I have my lovely wife, Gloria Culverson.
Hi.
We are doing our second annual Financial Literacy with TC, Budgeting While Married. This episode was our most popular last year in 2023. So we wanted to make sure that we bring it to you again on Valentine's Day. And we're going to have a seat and we're going to get started.
Yes.
So again, happy Valentine's Day, and we hope you enjoyed the episode. All right, babe.
All right. So you want to first off the cheers?
Cheers.
Cheers to a love day. Happy Valentine's Day.
Cool.
Okay.
All right, babe. So let's get right into it. We're talking about budgeting. We've had some trying times over the past 2 years. For those who don't know, we celebrated our 2-year anniversary back in December.
We did.
And
kudos to us, for sure. Say kudos to us.
Yeah.
Because we're great.
So what you guys are going to get from this episode is the raw, real life with us as we manage our financials. We're not going to pretend that we don't have trials and tribulations like most couples, but we are going to talk about some of our experiences, strategies, concepts that we implement in our lives to make sure that we try to be our best selves. And then we are going to get into some tips that we think can help other couples. I do want to preference and give a disclaimer that something that works for us or something that we have implemented doesn't mean it's necessarily for you in your situation. So I guess our first tip would be you have to have open communication.
Absolutely.
When it comes to your partner, husband, wife, spouse.
But I want to add that also open communication isn't easy. Like, you have to set boundaries immediately when you start talking to your spouse or significant other, someone who you're building money with, because, you know, it can be a little bit, want to put them in your basement. So open communication isn't easy, but is essential to a stable marriage, also stable finances, and just overall, just a good, what do you say? Finish my sentence, babe.
Overall happiness.
Overall happiness. See, we finish each other's sentences.
So let's be very transparent.
Mm-hmm.
When we first got together, we had very clear understanding on where each other was headed with our lives.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You be as transparent as you want. Those who follow me know I'm very transparent.
Yeah.
I know that I told you, I want to have multiple businesses. I want to be a business owner. I'm constantly trying to improve my financial situation.
Right.
Every year I look to increase my income.
But I said those businesses have to make sense. Right.
Okay.
Yeah. You don't want to just have multiple. Don't be a serial entrepreneur. I'll just open up this. Like, I don't, that can become a slippery slope. You want to make sure that you stick to what you're good at and expound on that. Like, make sure that, okay, it evolves into something else, but
you
not multiple.
You knew I had a plan.
He had a plan. I knew where he was going. I liked where he was headed. And so I went with him.
Right.
Yeah.
In your situation coming into our relationship was...
Oh, yeah. My situation was like diabolical. No, it was, it wasn't the greatest. I had taken a new path in life. I had to restart. So it was just like a lot to deal with. And, but of course I had all my affairs in order for the most part, but just not exactly where I wanted it to be. So I'm really excited that I was really excited when I actually had a conversation initially with my then just person I was meeting, but now my husband, about just where I was at financially, but where I wanted to go. And I appreciate that he liked my vision, that of course my trajectory is at being a politician. And of course it's going to take some time. So having a strong partner is absolutely needed. And I'm glad that he took care of that.
That's a roundabout way saying you want to pay all the bills because I ain't making enough money.
You have to support me real quick until I become the politician.
And that dynamic was totally fine.
Yeah, because I make money, it's just not enough.
Within our first year, we became homeowners.
Absolutely. He was on it. And it was so crazy. It wasn't like we just became homeowners out of the blue. One thing that's great about my husband, I'd like to show some love to him, is that like I said I wanted a house, and he got me a house. I said I wanted a new car, he's getting me a new car. Yeah. I said I wanted my car paid off, he paid my car off. Like, see, I like that.
So our point to telling these stories is that we had very honest and transparent conversations early on in our relationship, and we do what we call checkups.
For sure.
So now when we sat down, so we're fast forwarding to 2023, which was last year. We recently started health insurance or life insurance
policy. Get a life insurance policy, people.
So if you followed Financial Literacy with TC, we've had multiple individuals on our episodes here at Wealth Wednesday talking about life policies, investment options. And, that was one of the things we wanted to start taking care of was our financial future long term. So we took out some policies, and we are starting to, pour more and more into those policies. So that way, when we're older in age, we have something to fall back on for retirement. We have something for our unborn children. And we have a lot more long-term structure for what we want to do in our later years in life.
For sure.
So that was one of the biggest things. And then last year, we also understood that we wanted to have multiple streams of income. And we needed to, when you start in business ventures, you want to be able to look bankable. You want to look to be able to have enough credit available. So we started knocking down all of our credit card debt. December of 23, we were able to make sure all of our debt was condensed, and we are in a very good place right now as far as
we're in a great place right now. We have always talked about our short-term goals. Of course, we have a long-term goals, but we've always talked about our short-term goals, and one is like paying my car note off. Of course, we got that paid off, squared away. Another thing is that we had like a little unexpected issues, like for example, and I want to also talk about like how like budgeting, you can have your budget, but there are unexpected things that happen. Like for example, our stairs, they caved in. So we had to get a whole new step. So, like that cost us a pretty penny, but we were well within budget. I'm so glad that we were staying in communication with one another. And we were able to make that move to make sure we set up that, so in order for our stairs to get prepared.
Right. So how we achieved a lot of these financial goals that we hit over 2022 to 2023 was really
We stayed employed. That's the number one thing. Some people don't know. I don't know. You stay employed.
Yeah. But we also strategize, what our spending looks like. So we use multiple apps. Let's just get right into, how we manage our money. We have multiple joint accounts.
Yes.
We also have our own separate accounts. And we are beneficiaries on each other's accounts.
Exactly.
So we really make sure that we have conversation about our spending habits. Let's talk about our most recent month.
Right, because this month wasn't the best.
month. In our defense, we did have a few unexpected expenses that we did not calculate into our budget, and that's going to happen. If you're being very transparent. But
if you're staying within your budget range, those expenses, those savings are accounted for. Like that's that rainy day fund that you pull out, which we were able to have.
But honestly, because we had an amazing December where we had
a really great December.
So we did a ton of networking events and was free food. We actually we got bonuses at our employment.
Right.
So that
go to networking events. Usually, most of the times they have free food. You're out with your significant other. They have free drinks too. Like you're going out, you're getting dressed. You have that same feel, and that's a great way of also just speaking to people, building relationships, but also saving you a ton of money. Like you don't have to tip, you don't have to pay an extra person. Like so, I totally love our events that we go to.
So
enjoy off of someone else's dime for sure.
So January we did have some unexpected expenses. Like we had to buy a tire.
Oh, twice. No, he just bought all four. He just got all four of my tires done, and then I burst my tire. hitting a pothole. I was so upset.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that was annoying.
And it wasn't cheap.
Gas is expensive because I travel out of state for school, so it gets a little expensive. But just those type of expenses.
Yeah. So basically, a lot of our day to day, we have to compute, what we're spending money for. So when we think about our lifestyles, we keep in mind that, gas is going to be at a premium for us. We get our needs and wants together, and we set a budget for that on a monthly basis, and we go back and revisit it. So we knew December we had a great month as far as our dispository income.
Yeah.
And then in January we fell off a little bit because we had
unexpected expenses.
Yeah. So February
we're trying to recuperate, but not to where a point where we're destitute or we're scrapping for pennies here or got a penny pinch or something just we want to make sure we stay in the range that we talked about, we discussed.
Right.
So,
and that's going to be different for everybody depending on your situation.
Yeah.
So when we think about budgeting, what are some of the things that you think we can be better at?
So I think we can be better at making sure on a weekly basis we track what we're spending, because going to the store, I like taking trips to the dollar store, or if I see a cute outfit for some reason, I don't have any kids right now, so I spoil me or my husband spoils me, so but I got a little excited with shopping a little bit, so I mean just cutting back on that. But I'm really not a spender. I don't that's one of the things too. If your husband is taking care of you, do not overexpense him. I don't overexpense my husband. I don't cause him to go into debt or anything like that, because how does that help us as a whole? How does that help us? It doesn't. So I can be very frugal. Let's just say that.
And from the husband perspective, understanding that I'm blessed. I'll use myself as an example. I'm blessed that my wife, for the most part, takes care of her own hair and own nails.
Absolutely.
Very maintenance and.
I'm pretty high maintenance. Trust me, I can get higher. That's just we're going to get that tax bracket soon, but I'm going to get higher. But I'm staying in my lane right now.
But knowing that I don't have to pay a ton in nail appointments here.
No.
So what I do is I try to compensate to make sure that we do a lot of fun activities.
Now, I do get my nails done. Don't get me wrong. I do get my nails done. I just, I don't overexpense him. And I do the home care kit.
You won't let me finish my story.
Oh, I'm sorry, sweetie. Go ahead.
So, but yes.
He know this is my show when I'm on this show. He know it's my show. Go ahead.
Financial literacy with TC and GC.
And GC.
But you're behind me, remember that. But anyway, so the goal is to make sure there's a balance. And that's a lot of times compromising. So I know that I can be able to take her to dinner, places that she likes. And I want to make sure that I'm showing my appreciation for what she does that I know doesn't break the bank. And I found it attractive that she's well adapt to knowing that, let me make sure my husband, while he's taking care of the bills, that I'm not overtaxing him. Right.
And I still have a job, even though it pays me pennies. Democratic Caucus.
Oh, Lord.
No, I'm kidding.
But you drink one.
No, I'm kidding. But no, we're working on getting that, increase and stuff like that. And they did give us an increase a few months back. So, but I love my job too, of course. But I would say that I take care of my personal things too. I take care of my personal stuff just so he doesn't have to worry about that.
Right.
Yeah.
And what I love is my wife does a great job of helping us save. So.
Oh, I can save.
Yeah. So when we have what's called, most people will know the term rainy day fund. We have multiple accounts at multiple institutions. So she does an amazing job of stashing funds here.
I don't tell him.
Yeah.
I don't tell him how much I stash because he want to go on vacation.
I do.
And that's the thing though, babe. He loves vacations.
Yes.
And I love vacations too, but only if they make sense. And some people like to go on vacation. Oh, we're gonna worry about it. Let's live in the moment and all that. No. Let's plan for the future. Yeah. And if we're going on vacation, I want to be able to spend money comfortably on my vacation and come back to a clean house, a paid house.
Yeah.
All the bills are done, and we're just coming back, relaxing after our vacation, and getting back into our mode.
Yeah.
Like, it shouldn't be, oh, I gotta scramble to find some money or some funds. Like, that's so unattractive.
Every once in a while, she indulges me with a mini vacay.
A mini vacay, staycay. Like, we go like maybe like an hour or two away and have fun and stuff.
And
but
now those who know me know why I work so hard. So that way, once we get a higher income,
yeah,
there'll be no discussions.
Right now, I'm bougie on a budget. I can't wait until I'm like bougie.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, I'm staying in my lane, so I'm bougie on a budget.
Right.
Yeah.
So with that being said, we do a great job of making sure that we do checkups to see where we're going to be financially in the next few months. So anytime that I have income that I know is coming, we recalculate.
Yeah.
And, say, hey, babe, so right now our next goal is we have another business venture that we are working on.
Mm-hmm.
We're excited about that.
Oh, we're so excited.
So we know when you're trying to explore opening a business, you need to have some funds set aside to show that you have skin in the game. So we're setting money aside. We've been taking advantage of some CD promotions.
Mm-hmm.
My institution, for those who know me personally, know that we have a nice little CD rate. I call it the wealth people rate because we only had to put $1,000 into the CD account and we got a nice interest rate. Whereas most institutions, they're charging you, or they want you to bring over $25,000 or $5,000 in new money in order for you to get with the wealthy person's rate. So just little things like that we're having open communication with, so that way when we know that it's time for us to take a vacation or start our business, we've done a great job with our finances, so that way we're not jumping over any hurdles.
I would also have to add that, like, I have a benefit because my husband knows and studies finances.
Yes.
Like, I have an added benefit.
Yes.
You need a partner who knows finances, not pretending just because he got a couple of $1,000s in the bank. No, I mean really knows what to do with that money.
And then even if you don't know, somebody who's wise enough to be able to have a financial advisor.
Right, or a financial advisor.
Even though I'm in finances, I don't rely on myself alone.
Absolutely not.
I'm going to give a shout out to Hassan, Muhammad, David Freeman, two of my financial advisors that I have communications with and open conversations with, because you don't know it all. And you never will know it all.
No.
So you want to be able to have people that you can connect with and build relationships with, so they can help guide you and give you options with your money.
Right, because I just want to add this little caveat. We don't have to get into this, but think about how much the dollar is worth on an average, like a daily basis.
Right.
Like, people don't even check that.
Yeah.
You don't even know how much your dollar is worth and you're spending it. Yeah. So if you really actually knew how much it was worth, you would be like, a little more cautious on what I'm going to buy or what I'm going to spend. Like, you're a little bit more cautious, a little more, self-aware.
Oh, yeah. So let's get into some tips
that
we have for...
Oh, no, beer?
I got you, babe.
Thanks.
So let's get into some tips that we have for married couples.
Married couples.
I'm going to say, it says specifically for married couples, but I think these would apply to boyfriend and girlfriend or any financial relationship. So the first one is... we kind of covered it in our personal testimony, which is give yourself financial checkups. Married couples put off talking about their finances until they're married, but it should be an ongoing conversation, monthly, daily.
I think we were good at that. We had an ongoing conversation about finances. Yeah, we were very clear. We're both Tauruses, so we're very direct. Yeah.
And honestly,
very open and transparent.
And truth be told, I love that because we choose 1 week out of the year, which is our birthdays falls in the same week.
Right, our birthday falls in the same week, sure.
So that's not multiple weeks in a year that we're spending.
Right, and that's so great.
It's 1 week a year.
Don't always just think about our situations, because we literally got a couple of bonuses being together.
Right.
So if you're single, make sure you find a man or a woman or whoever with some bonuses that be added to you just in the long run. Like, seriously.
Think about that.
Think about it.
Yep. And that leads me into number 2, which is understand your partner's debt.
Mm-hmm.
So when
I just got school debt.
And I had very small school debt.
Yeah.
And I think
something that we're gonna pay off. You know what I mean?
And I had credit card debt.
Yes.
It wasn't.
I don't have any credit card debt because my husband paid it off.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I said we had that though.
We had credit card
understanding
debt.
what that person has prior.
Ladies,
to
get you a man who gonna pay your stuff, okay? Listen to me.
Babe.
A lot of stress relief. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'll sit down. I'm just saying.
I'm telling you, y'all, her drink is strong.
Hey, really?
Sorry.
Don't do that. That was
Okay.
mean.
I'm sorry.
I'm not. I barely drinking. What do you mean? I'm just guys.
sorry.
I'm not drunk.
Okay. All right. Save for the wedding and beyond. So,
You know what? Look, we had a big. We went to. What did we do? We went to the courthouse. Okay, we went to the courthouse and had and got married. We'll have a reception and a ceremony, but guys, honestly, that's just too much.
Yeah.
I don't care about that. We had a wonderful vacation. He got me a house, and my bills are paid off. Screw the wedding. Okay, that's a waste of time. But go ahead, sweetie. But if you love it, go ahead, do your thing. Okay? Yeah.
I have nothing else to add. Create a budget you both can live with.
Yeah. I think we stay well. We're pretty aligned when it comes to what we think we should spend, what we shouldn't spend, and everything like that, right?
Right.
We're pretty aligned with that. So, yeah.
And then,
Honestly, a lot of the finances is coming with picking the right partner.
right.
Like it really has everything to do with the right partner. And if you have like a cornball, someone who's like living the moment, y'all, you don't understand. That hits so deep. If a man says,
just know these thoughts are not properties of financial literacy with TC.
yeah, these are terrible. Like don't. Ugh.
All right.
Okay.
So
he's not serious.
Number 5 is decide who manages what. I think we do a great job of that.
Yeah, my husband manages the stuff more so. Like he manages like the
bills.
household bills,
Yeah.
but I manage just like the savings and keeping that extra spare of money out the
And
way.
the
So if he
household-
needs me like to send him
And
like
the household expenses.
right, and the household expenses I manage. And if he needs me to send him like extra money or something like that or whatever, I can send it to him no problem, and he wouldn't even he never has to worry about that because I'm on it too. Because he's the strongest person in financial literacy. He is the strongest, but he has a great partner. Like I keep myself equipped, understanding, listening to him, learning from him. And thanks, sweetie. Love you, Papa Bear. That's my Papa Bear. Big Papa.
All right, so let's go to number 6. To combine or not to combine. This is huge.
Not those personal savings that I come out with the Woodworks. No, I'm not combining that because he'll go on vacation. No, you got to know your partner.
I don't think it means that. Like,
oh, go ahead, sweetie.
So
go ahead.
we have combined our finances.
Yeah, for sure.
We know what each other has as far as income, and we know what accounts we have. We
know who can take care of what.
Yeah. But we might not have direct access to each other's personal accounts. But we are beneficiaries.
Right. You can call and we don't in a marriage, we don't hide things from each other. Like you can have your privacy. Right. And if you have a little personal account on the side of the shores, you totally can as a human being have that right.
I think it's a great time for us to point out that, I know plenty of people have saw a lot of those viral videos that are going around with people talking about splitting bills 50-50. The one
it's an 80-20 right now.
Yeah, the one viral video where the girl had $20,000 of his money in her.
Oh no, I saw that. You showed me that one, right? Yeah.
And I bring these things up because we watch those videos.
Yeah.
And we learn and have conversations about
what
our opinions and thoughts are.
So we can have a better understanding. Yeah.
So while I don't think they're funny to the individuals that are
going through this. Yeah.
We do use those as lessons to.
But what's comforting is that we seem to always agree or align with for the most part, we seem to be like, oh no, like we may have some differences, but it's not to where it like affects us really. Like it doesn't. No.
And that's just, to me, that just.
Y'all, I am falling more in love with my husband now because we are just okay.
Yep.
Okay, Papa Bear.
So 7's quick because we've already talked about it. Update your beneficiaries.
Yeah.
We've done that.
Yeah.
Change your withholdings. I do like this one.
Actually, I don't think we did that one, babe. Did we?
Yeah.
We changed withholdings. Again, he's the guru in this relationship when it comes to finances, so we probably did.
W-4s.
Oh yes, yeah. Okay.
Because I was on that.
Okay.
I learned that.
Yeah.
When your status with your employer, or when your status in your, if you get married or become single, when those things change, you need to redo your W-4 with your employer, because now when you first got that position and your status has changed, there's withholdings that you didn't account for when you initially did your W-4. And you don't do your W-4 every year. When you do your orientation with your employer, you do your W-4 and call it a
But
day.
babe, aren't you supposed to change your You can change your W-4 up until it's like kind of around that time when you're about to file. Up until it's time to file taxes.
To my knowledge, you can change your W-4 at any given time.
Any given time.
Any given time.
Well, fact check that to make sure, but yeah.
I'm pretty sure I'm right.
No, I'm pretty sure you're right. I'm just saying. You know, I'm just adding that grace. Okay. That's all. I'm just adding that grace. I literally did it
with my own employer.
Just okay.
Now, I believe them.
Trust me, I believe them.
I can't speak to every employer how they operate, but the ones I've had.
No, I thought so too. Yeah. Because I have changed my like status too, like updated. Actually, I need to update my status. But no, like you're the breadwinner, so.
I think you would have put it correctly before you got it.
But yeah, because we were already married. So yeah, we were already married before I took my job. So.
Ooh, number 9, I love this one. Have a financial date night. We're going to chalk this up to our February financial date night. Yeah. But make talking your finances fun. Make it enjoyable. Go to one of your favorite restaurants. Yeah, you're spending money while you're talking about your finances.
Yeah, but
you need to be able to, if you're in an environment where it's enjoyable, got a glass of wine or
drink
or something to drink.
Yeah.
Loving on each other. Like, why should
a good mood?
Yeah, why should we talk about finances be
difficult? It shouldn't be. Like, we have to talk about them. We have to know where we're going, because that's one of the main reasons. That's one of the main infidelity and finances are the two main issues when it comes to that divorce. And we're at a 50%. We're at a 50% divorce rate. I think it's like that divorce rate, and it's like terrible. Like, we don't want to. It's terrible. You know what I mean? Like, it's, we don't want to do that.
Yep. And then last 10 is, I guess it's a big one since I work for a financial institution. Tell your bank that you changed your name.
Yes. Tell your bank.
Yep.
I know, because I learned from experience that you got to tell your bank.
Yep.
You have to tell your bank because they won't know.
Yep.
No organization talks to any organization. Just keep that in mind. The Social Security office does not talk to the DMV. They don't talk to revenue. They don't talk to anybody. Like, so just make sure you call everybody.
Right. So you brought up the 80-20 rule.
Yeah. I'm the 20%, guys. Yeah. Just FYI.
So if you're
in the finances department. Yeah.
If you're new to budgeting as a couple, this strategy might be good for you. For your joint income, you can spend 80% on needs and wants and commit 20% to your savings. This 20% could go toward emergency funds, college savings, retirement savings, debt reduction. So that is definitely something that you should consider if you don't have your own method or concept or strategy that you're already doing.
And just for this month, I want to add in. Wait, babe, go ahead, continue, because I may be just go ahead. Sorry.
That was it for it.
I want to also add that, like, this month, like, just going back to what he said earlier about this month, I overspent. Mm-hmm. I got on TikTok and I went TikTok crazy. I went TikTok crazy a little bit.
You did.
I did. So I overspent. Mm-hmm. And but my husband is able to kind of like counteract that and kind of like just be able to like, okay, babe, that's fine. But I always let him know what I'm buying. I'm like, is it okay to buy this? Because I tell him that babe, I overspent this month. And that's rare for me because I never overspent in our relationship until this month. So it's very rare for me to overspend.
Too hard,
right. He didn't come. He's like, babe, I got it. It's fine. Like because guess what? I saved him a lot of money previously. So it's like, you're fine if you overspend because I got you. And yeah.
All right, babe. So for our last segment,
that is sexy. That's sexy.
For our last segment, you are going to play host, my beautiful co-host.
Oh.
And you're going to pull up your phone.
Not beautiful.
And you're going to ask me some of the questions that you have on your phone.
Okay.
And we're going to have a conversation and talk about it.
Yay, I'm the co-host. Okay, let me see. Let's see. Okay. Is it the questions that say...
Just pick. You don't gotta go in order.
Okay, I was actually interested about this one.
So y'all getting raw and real answers. We did not discuss this before we came on.
Let me see, babe. You guys, give me a second, right? Can you give me a minute?
Girl, there's like 15 questions.
Question number 3. What are some common budgeting mistakes people make, and how can they avoid them? That's a good question.
Repeat it one more time.
Oh, number 3. What are some common budgeting mistakes people make, and how can they avoid them?
I would say the first one is not setting what is a need versus want.
Yeah, he always talks about that.
Like, I mean,
Always.
to me, that's the core of budgeting. There's certain things that may be a need to other people,
Yeah.
and maybe a want to other people. Like, I always use this example: coffee. Most people would think that's a want.
Yeah.
But working in the line of work that I am, it's a need for me.
What is?
Now, coffee. Now, let me say, the caveat is...
Babe, you're bad at that because you love coffee.
Yeah. So what I did was, one month, I calculated how much I spent at coffee.
Ooh, how much was it?
It was Dunkin' Donuts, and that whole month, I was
$1,000.
$200.
He loves Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah. No, I love coffee in the morning.
Isn't that coffee?
Yeah, it's not Dunkin' Donuts. So
okay, coffee.
What I've since done is I now have a Keurig machine, and more days than not, I'm using my Keurig machine. And
absolutely, yeah. So he really says a lot, and I got him this really cool, fancy coffee cup that he likes pouring coffee into. So he uses that. So he's decreased that about what, like $100 now. Because he still does do Dunkin' Donuts, but that's
not as much as
you gotta you gotta get out of your habits. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you're a human being.
And then the next thing is being very transparent and honest about your spending habits.
Yeah.
Most people are in denial. Most people will be like, "Oh, you know what? I'm not fixated on Chick-fil-A." But
people make that weird excuse like I might die tomorrow, but if you don't, you left with debt. You know what I mean? Yeah. And why would you want to die with debt?
Right. All right, babe, that was a good one. Pick another one.
Oh, okay. Let me see.
Y'all learning a lot about us personally.
Right. Okay, let me see. Let me do... How can technology and apps assist in the budgeting process? And what are some popular tools available? Okay, so budgeting apps are great.
Are you just going to take over that?
Oh, I'm sorry, sweetie. I told him when I'm on here, it's my show. Yeah. It's GC, Financial Literacy, not TC. Right. Okay, anyway. But I would have to say, those apps are great, but if you're a tech person and you like everything online, you like to be virtual and everywhere, great. Budgeting apps are awesome. Whatever one you prefer. Me, I like a pencil and paper. I'm a 90s baby. You know what I mean? Early 2000s, 90s baby. So I like a piece of a pencil and a piece of paper.
If you like me, and
I got those cute budgeting books off of Amazon, and then I literally put physical money inside those budgeting books, so we know exactly how much we're spending, how much we're not spending. Those are a huge help. Those are so good. Yeah.
But if you're like me, your penmanship isn't great. I'm an 89 baby, actually.
89 baby. I'm a 90s baby.
And your penmanship ain't great. Yeah, I go ahead.
But we're both 2000 kids.
I go ahead and use my Excel spreadsheet, or I use Good Budget, or I use...
Yeah, I love Good Budget. It's fine. Yeah. Or I don't like everything about Good Budget. Maybe find a good budgeting app where they pick some bucks. Yeah, it's tons of ways to,
and then we also use an app called Coin Out, where we take photos of
our receipts,
and we earn money.
Any way we can earn money. Even if it's just if we're going to be on our phones, then we should be earning money while we're on our phones.
Yes.
You can scroll TikTok, but if TikTok's not making you any money, I don't understand why you're scrolling so much. You're not doing enough.
It's more or less the number of hours you commit to that.
Exactly. Limit the TikTok because it can be addictive. I know. I was an addictive person.
Yeah. All right, babe, we'll do 2 more.
Okay, 2 more?
Yeah.
Let me look. Okay, hold on 1 second. How important is it to revisit and adjust a budget regularly? And what are some signs that it may be time for a change? Oh, okay. One of the major signs is if you have an income increase or income change. That's some of the signs of changing. If, let's say, something comes up. For example, when I'm in school and I have to travel back from PA to the other state, of course we have to adjust for how much gas I will be using because I have to fill up my tank every 2.5, 3 days. So that increases. Great thing is my tank is good on, it's great on gas, but it does increase some, and it does kind of limit a couple of things. Not too much, but we gotta adjust for it. So anytime anything comes up that's either unexpected or it's going to be temporary, just know that it's going to be temporary, and that sometimes, finances, bills, they all fluctuate. So, I mean, I guess just
So
a good time for change is when it changes, I guess.
Yeah. So obviously, to piggyback what you said,
Mm-hmm.
once we do have income increase, the thing is not to start spending more.
Mm-hmm.
It's we actually look at what bills we are actually spending excessively, and we try to lower those so that way we are no longer
This is why he's the
maximizing our
guru.
debt.
Mm-hmm.
And we also made adjustments to where most of our bills get paid off credit cards.
Yes.
And we get reward points.
Yeah.
So we're actually earning money for the money that we're already going to spend.
Exactly.
Regardless.
Yeah, like put it on a credit card.
Yeah.
Get your credit up. If your credit isn't at the point to where you can actually put all of your bills and stuff on a credit card, once you're at that point, put everything on a credit card. It gives you 30 days to pay for anything that you need. And you'll have a couple of checks, so it's a lot better to manage your money that way.
Well, then also depending on the credit card, you can get max of 2% back or 1 point.
Yeah, depends on the credit card. Yeah.
But we're actually earning money while we're spending.
While we're spending, it's not
people,
a lot.
Don't
get me wrong. Don't get excited. It's not a lot, but but if you do it for a long time, it's yeah.
All right, so that was a good one.
Yeah.
Right,
one more.
Yep.
One more question. Let's see here. What are the fundamental principles of budgeting, and why is it important? Fundamental. Discipline, I would say, is one of the first things about budgeting. You have to be disciplined. Yeah. You have to, every day you have to remind yourself of your goal. What are you here to do? What do you want to accomplish? And you use your money to get you there, because money makes the world go round. Let's be real. It does. And I would say knowing what your budget is, being adamant about your budget, being consistent with your budget, and also just, babe, finish me.
Also making sure that you understand your weaknesses.
So, yeah, there you go. See?
Yeah.
That's my happy puppy.
When you understand that, I'm flawed because I know I have to have, we both I like Goobers. She likes Crunch and Bunch.
Love Crunch and Bunch.
A lot of times, we'll go multiple times to the store to get those.
Taxed triple times.
But making the mistake that we are paying, every time you go make a purchase,
you're getting taxed.
And instead of just buying a whole box of all last us a month or 2 months.
Utilizing those big department stores such as Sam's Club or something like that, and having those memberships and getting things in bulk that you really like.
Being very strategic.
And also changing your palate, changing the way, what things that you like, so that you can, gain in the long run. Yep. Goobers are great, but if they don't have it at Sam's Club in a pack for about $5, Goobers aren't that tasty. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. And the goal is to, as you grow and as you age and as you mature, your perspective on life changes. So that means you need to adapt your finances, your budget, to adapt to your needs and your wants at that time. I'm not the same. I don't have the same thought process as I did before I was married.
Right.
It's evolved. It's adapt to meet the needs of myself and my wife as we are a married couple. And once we get kids, we'll adapt again. Once we buy another house, we'll adapt again.
Absolutely.
Everything that evolves and changes, we have to adapt with it to make sure we're budgeting and managing our money and our finances in a way that makes sense for that particular moment in time in our lives. So, yeah.
21 days is a habit. That's what I heard.
All righty.
So be disciplined.
All right, babe. So now I'm going to put you back in guest mode.
Okay.
You are a guest.
Am I? You guys, I literally run this show at this point. You're my favorite guest. Guys, I run this show at this point.
So we'll get into 2 little questions.
And then we're done?
Yeah.
Because, babe, I want to have my Valentine's. Come on.
Yeah, we can celebrate. Before we finish up with these last few questions, I would let you guys know that we are here at Nobleman Cigar Lounge. It's a beautiful location. If you have not been, today is Wealth Wednesdays.
Mm-hmm.
Brandon Rice, shout out to Brandon.
Mm-hmm.
Come down, make sure you celebrate Wealth Wednesdays at Nobleman Cigar Lounge. And make sure you come talk about wealthy tips, wealthy strategies, 75-cent wings. Make sure you really take advantage of this pillar in the community, this Penn Hills community, and use it to your advantage so that way you can build and grow in your financial situation in your life.
Also, to add, the chicken wings are freaking amazing. Every time my husband comes to Wealth Wednesdays, I make sure he brings me back chicken wings. I'm like, them things are great. I don't know who making them, but finger licking good.
Yep. All right, babe. So I'm gonna get you out on this note.
Okay.
What would you like your spouse to do better when it comes to your relationship or budgeting?
My husband's a saint. Let me just
I'm
say
using
that.
this as a tool to learn.
My husband's a saint. Let me just say that. When it comes to relationships, as far as like, I would have to say listen more. Like, I feel like you are transparent. I feel like you are transparent. And I also feel like you do hear me out, but I don't feel like you always hear me. And I know Tauruses have that bit of a stubbornness. And he's like, I know what I'm talking about. So blah, 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 blah. You know, like that type of thing. And I'm like, no, I know what I'm talking about too, just because I'm not as skilled as you are. Sometimes just because I'm not as skilled as you are in finances doesn't mean that I don't have a better way of doing something when it comes to finances. Like, but for example, and this is a good example, he took my advice when it came to vacations. I'm like, babe, like what I explained earlier, like, babe, if we're not coming back and we're not comfortable coming back and we got to scramble for stuff, we really should be on vacation. And he's like, you know what, babe, you're right. And he actually took a leave. So when I was like, so he kind of like dialed back on vacations and he let me like kind of control that a little bit. Like kind of like just when my baby wants to go on vacation, we'll go on vacation. Yeah, so I appreciate that.
Truth be told, she just texted me earlier this week and said,
we need a vacation.
Let's start planning a mini vacation.
Yeah, because my boss worked the heck out of me. She really does.
Shout out to her.
Rep Nays, she be on it though. Like she's an amazing representative. She's a representative of 24th Legislative District with Tasha D. Mays. And
vote for your state rep.
Vote for your state rep. Yeah. But yeah, she likes things on time. She likes things perfect. She's also a Taurus.
Shout out to Ashley Commons.
Commons. She's running for State Representative District 34. Yeah. Yes. There is a current incumbent, but she's running too. So shout out to Commons. But my rep is she'll work you to the vote.
Okay. So last question. What are some of the things that you will inspire to change in the future when it comes to your spending habits, budgeting habits? What are some of the things you'll personally look to improve upon or be mindful of going forward?
Great question. I think the things that I will improve upon is actually getting more knowledgeable about finances. If not to the level you are at, or because I know you're going to expand and grow more into finances as well, but to really understand finances, how it works, and if I'm able to catch something that you didn't catch, or if I'm able to be a stronger partner when it comes to finances, because we're in this together.
I'll be honest, babe. You're kind of amazing. I'm proud of you.
Thanks, Bear. You are too, baby love.
All right. So on that note, is there anything else you want to say to our audience before we get ready and enjoy our Valentine's Day?
I love my hubby, Bubby.
All right, guys. So this was Financial Literacy with TC.
And GC, because it's my show.
And GC. And it was our second annual Budgeting While Married. Hopefully you guys found some things insightful and useful. If nothing else, you learned a little bit more about me and GC that you didn't know before. We are excited to bring this to you, and hopefully that you'll be able to take advantage. Definitely like and subscribe on the YouTube channel. You can reach out to me at Financial Literacy with TC on Facebook, Instagram. You can also reach out on Spotify. Drop some comments if you have some things that you think we missed, some things that you think can incorporate, because you never know who's watching and listening, and it might be helpful for their situation. So definitely, I appreciate you guys, and we want to thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Gracias.
And we're out.
Bye. Hasta luego.
Give me a kiss.
Mi amor. Love you.
Good job, babe.
Let me finish my drink.